Hi everybody. So this is Team Extremely Okay, and we're extremely tired. So forgive anything regarding that. So we built the Extremely Okay lending service. So the goal here is to be able to connect people that don't have access to technology, whether that's for educational purposes or whatever purposes they might need. Um, to be able to connect them to people that are lending technology that they can take advantage of those things like Wi-Fi hotspots, laptops, those kinds of things. So on the front end, we used a React front end with JavaScript to build what you're seeing here with the Google Maps API to be able to pull different coordinates. So if Jason hits get items, we can see get item. We can see items that are in the database with their latitudes and longitudes. This is pulling based on a proximity to ASU within 5 miles. And then when you click on the little points, it'll uh, map out to where they're available, and then you can actually see a description of what item is in what location. Pretty basic front end. We weren't able to connect everything together, but we got the basic functionality on the front end. And actually, if you click add in the upper right hand corner, Jason, you can see our modal to be able to add a new device. And then if geolocation is turned on, it will actually pull geolocation from the browser and embed that to be able to be submitted with the item that you're creating. That's more or less it for the front end. I'm going to pass it off to Jason to kind of talk about the back end stack of what we used.
Okay, so this is the general system design for our stack. Um, we actually did get through both EC2 services for an authentication service, the main lending service, which is vending all the data that you're seeing on the front end, um, as well as communication between Google API, storing the all of our data in Elasticsearch so that you can do different types of search queries based on what the user wants. So all different types of filters on the front end. Once we can implement that later, and then we have our usernames stored in this DynamoDB database, so that a user can create an account, log in, and then they have that user ID tied to all their items. And it'll also be used for when a different user is checking out an item. So we have this Elasticsearch cluster here. Um, we set up Kibana so that we can go through and write these JSON-like queries to view all the data in our cluster. So you'll see that there's 5 items here, but only 3 showed up on the front end, and that's because we have certain filters in place, and that those are for 5 mile proximity and available. So if we now go down to the DynamoDB, you'll see all the hashed passwords and user IDs as well as usernames. And then we have 2 running EC2 instances, which we can actually hit, and we'll show in Postman that both of these services are fully functional. And then we have the whole front end hosted on S3. So all the assets are here, and it's publicly accessible. You can hit this endpoint.
You want to show
Um,
us some of those Postman requests?
yeah, so if we pull up Postman, the general items request is right here. So if we run this request, you'll see we get a few items. And if we wanted to filter this more thoroughly, so this is what would be very helpful for the user experience. We have sorting. So we have a verification status. So essentially, if our team has vetted the item and we believe that it's ready for pickup, then we can use the verify API to set the verified status here. So right now we only have 1 verified item. We can use the verified API right here. So if we update, I think that same user ID to false for the verification status, we get the 200. And then if we go back to items verified true and search, we now get a empty response because that was the only verified item. We can also change the availability of items. So when you do so, what you would want to do is submit the change in availability and the timestamp. So this was already done. If we go to availability equals true, we'll see that there is 3 available items. And if we go to false, that might actually be more helpful. We'll see that there is 1 item that's not available, and it has a return date timestamp here. And
You want to show us like a user adding or login real quick?
yeah, so and then finally, yeah, we can go over adding new users. So if we wanted to add a user, demo and password demo, 1 or 2, and submit that. We get a 203, and if you actually look at the Dynamo table here and refresh it, you'll see
Demo.
demo has
And we're
shown
right there
up,
at the bottom.
and the password is hashed. And if we go back to Postman and we do a login request for the same request body, you will get a 200 and the user ID. And therefore, we can use this user ID to authenticate and tie it in with all of our item stores and changes and requests. Because you'll see this user ID here. And that's it. If anybody else has some words to just talk about the project, how we're going crazy.
I think that's good.
I think that's
you.
good. Thank you guys thanks for watching our video and checking out our project.
See.